Hey, good afternoon, dudes and dudettes. This is Diligence here. Welcome to the internet's most comprehensive and premium stock analysis channel. And in here, we offer the most premium stock analysis, charting, education, as well as news coverage for MMAT. All right, let's get into this week's MMAT Weekly. And this is essentially the only thing you need to know so far about MMAT. Let's get into the overview. So in this presentation or on this video, we're gonna talk about news updated so far, including when does the merger happen, basic share conversion information, dividend placement holder, when it's gonna get here, how much it's gonna be, but there's gonna be a more detailed video over, later on posted, which is still in the making. Sorry guys, it's been a weekend, there's a lot of distractions, and for a lonely man, it's kind of sometimes you're like, should I get out? But you're like, nah, I kind of just want to do more research and, be miserable again. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's also 4th of July. Take it easy, boys and girls, big men and women, moms and dads for watching my channel. We're also going to talk about double listing and, some things to expect next week, including, all eyes on George, the press conference we've been waiting for so long. A lot of exchange fixes in terms of like basic information on Bloomberg terminal, on other exchanges, on brokerages, so then some algorithm can detect this stock ticker. And we're going to talk briefly about threshold security, how MMAT is actually listed on there. And thanks to one of my subscriber, and also he posted something on Discord that caught my attention. But there's also something we need to keep in mind in terms of the threshold security. It's not set in stone yet, per se. And threshold security is aka, the cock blocker list for shorts, because it essentially means it's overshorted. Anyways, and last but not least, we're going to talk about short volume, price trends. More detailed price trends probably going to be in the next video. The next video, I'm going to post out like a very short one, like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, about how did we do this week in terms of like how we did this Friday. We actually did pretty well, consider it's a very, very low volume day. It's a very slow day. And I haven't checked the aftermarket yet, but my prediction for the aftermarket probably is going to pull back, right? Like what I said on Thursday night. So in that section, we're going to talk about short volume, how the data is fucked, basically. And we got to talk about maybe some potential data fixes in terms of like, where all these people are getting their short data, and because outstanding shares are not fixed yet, so then short volumes are incorrect, which then would do some math maybe later on. I don't really know what I'm going to cover in terms of like the last few sections, because I don't really want to drag this one too long. Because for a lot of new subs, this is basically, they want to get into MMAT. They just want to have like a, milestone timeline, like what really happened. Maybe the minor technical analysis, And at the end, I'm going to talk about the new bottom form, essentially. I'm very hopeful, and hopefully next Tuesday things goes really well with George, and everything's going to be really great. All right, next, let's cover the news. So for those of you who are still asking me, oh my god, where's all my shares? Where's all the conversion? No! Oh my god, I'm so disappointed. All the Torch shareholders got robbed, blah, 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 blah. Stop panicking, stop spreading panic in my channel. I am not gonna delete your comments, because I got a lot of guardian angels, and they're just gonna smash the shit out of you and just tell you that you're essentially irrational, and we're gonna prove you wrong. And technically we already did, because I think one of them like unsubbed and subbed again, the one who said it's gonna go back to $3 or something like that, and then I immediately post a price floor video. But again, like investing is kind of risky, and I can't be 100% correct, so I gotta leave some room for myself too. I could be wrong, but it's not what I predicted right that defines me. Is what I predicted wrong that defines me, because I rarely get it wrong, right? Wolf of Wall Street line. There you go. So the merger closes on June 25th, 2021. So then Torch, formerly known as Torchlight Energy, changed their ticker, or basically it's a termination of ticker. It becomes MMAT. Okay, so it changed from an oil and gas company into a tech company, nano component, photonics company. All right, merger closes on 25th. I know all of us are super salty about it, because they closed this very hastily, and they haven't think about like all the repercussions of closing it. And by closing it early, because the original closing day was on the 30th, they basically moved a bunch of agendas and give hedge funds some abilities or wiggle rooms or potentials to basically further short the stock due to outstanding share conversion not coming until basically next week. But we don't want to talk about it because we want to wait until George have this press conference and see how it goes. So for those of you who haven't been following news for Torch or aka metamaterial, here's the thing, okay? So if you bought Torch before the merger closes, one Torch will give you 1 share of metamaterial, okay? Nothing special there. But if you bought Torch or metamaterial on a Canadian/Beaver market, your 1 share of MMATF will convert into 1.8 shares of MMAT. And depending on how evil your brokerage firm is, they might charge you a reorganization fee. And because, people in brokerages these days, they just want money. I'm just kidding. They're probably really busy because there are a lot of new regulations coming out, especially after the Fed did the reverse repo. They're basically busy to their asses. That's why all the transactions, reorganization of shares from the Canadian exchange to the NASDAQ takes so long. You probably will expect to see your converted shares by July 6th, which is next Tuesday, which is the first day that it's going to trade, because July 4th weekend, July 5th, all financial personnel, like me and you included, get the day off, right? And I got this date from the press release that on, it's going to be in Discord. I will drop a lot of news materials in Discord, or you can just take my word for it, because, I read all these things. But hey, everything is quite slow so far due to the new DTC guideline. I might even make a video about DTC guideline. Comment down below if you want it. So I think that only affects for those of you who are trading in the Canadian market but buy U.S. stocks. Okay. The reason why the new the guidelines are actually very potent to our situation is because the new legislative change make it sort of like a process time slower when you want to exchange Canadian dollar into US dollar and sort of change your listing from Canadian market to the US market. It makes the entire process slower. It's a currency play basically. So I would say give it an extra day or two to process and everything. And next, so for those of you who are asking, where's my fucking dividend? What the fuck is going on? Sorry about my language, because I'm literally actually reading out your comments with exclamation mark and with emotion. Because, maybe I will consider acting as one of my side careers when I retire when I'm 40 or something like that. But hey, we don't really want to end up like Kevin Spacey or have Harvey Weinstein, so we gotta be careful with what we say, and we want to be proper. We want to respect everyone and everything. But show business is very complicated. Anyways, sorry I deviated for 1 minute. Also, it's a joke, okay? So where's my dividend holder? Dad, when am I gonna get my dividend payment? Please. This is a fucking scam. No, stop right there, okay? You will not get your dividend payment. You will not get your dividend payment until Torch actually sold all of their oil and gas assets, okay? So earliest they will sell their gas and oil assets is probably around late July, which is, we're now at early July. You still have at least 30 days to wait, right? And then also when transaction closes, when money all gets into the Torch actual people the management of Torch, now they're employees of metamaterial, right? Getting to their hands and distributed the payment to us, it's probably going to take another 25 days. So technically speaking, even if they close late July, we probably won't get it until say early August, okay? And the latest we will get it is around December 30th, 2021. And if they close the deal on the last day of 2021, we will probably expect a dividend payment on around mid-January-ish. And that actually creates some tax complications, but we're not going to get into that. And some of you also asked why dividend triggers a potential squeeze. Maybe I should make a video about that too. Comment down below. But in short, basically short sellers have to pay dividend if they shorted the stock, okay? That's in short, but there's some complications within that. And third question is, what about our dividend placeholder, right? For those of you who are super insecure, right? You probably, maybe in middle school or high school, you went up to the hottest chick in your class and you get rejected, just like I did. That's why you're sometimes you're very insecure with all the money that will come to you, but you haven't get it yet. So in this case, in the next slide, I'm going to talk about like what happens to your dividend placeholder, when you're going to get it, right? And the process of it. And lastly, like how much will the dividend be, which a lot of you are very interested. The video is in the making, but I will talk about it like really briefly, sort of like that make it really simple for you guys. And for those of you who want an in-depth math sort of thing, go watch my next video that's probably gonna come out either tonight or tomorrow morning or maybe tomorrow afternoon. Sorry, my video schedule is kind of delayed due to the weekend and due to I don't know, I'm kind of itching to like kind of go out and do something fun. So what about our dividend placeholder, right? So I'm not gonna read the statement that's on the press release. So basically, Torchlight already issued those dividend. So on the 28th, they issued a dividend, and because they moved from, so for Torchlight people, right, they moved from NASDAQ, they moved from the NASDAQ to the Canadian market to sort of issue the dividend, because technically they're now they at that point when they make the agreement on SEC, like metamaterial have a say in what Torchlight does, right? So then what happens is you have this back and forth in between the US and the Canadian exchange. That's why a lot of those things are delayed. So by the 28th, which is like I don't remember when it's the 20th, but by the 28th, all the dividends are already issued, right? And then basically on the 25th, on the 25th, all dividends are already issued, and you probably won't see the dividend until like the 28th, okay? But because they issued it when it's still on the Canadian market, the Canadian exchange, the DTC still have to clear it. So the DTC probably won't clear it until June 30th. And because the DTC won't clear it until the June 30th, and you have a holiday on July 1st, and because after a holiday, usually, people don't really work. Sorry. And you won't really see the placement holder until like later on, like next week. So the earliest you will see the placement holders is around July 6th, but you probably should give it at least 2 more business days. So you probably will see it somewhere around like July 8th or 9th-ish. And because, the dividends was distributed from Torch / metamaterial to DTC on June 28th, and then DTC probably clear on the 30th, and then for the DTC to give them to the brokerage, your brokerage firm takes a while, right? And guess what? All the brokerage firms have to take even longer to give it to us. But as long as you hold it from the 22nd to 24th, or if you just bought Torchlight like way before the 22nd, you already have your dividend holder. Like if you don't have it, just call your brokerages and show them like some evidence that you hold it throughout until the 24th, and you will get it. So don't worry. And plus, it's just a dividend holder. Like you don't really get money right away, anyways, right? So don't be hasty. Don't panic. Be patient. Okay. It's a virtue, really. Patience is a virtue. So how much will the dividend be, right? Short answer is it actually depends. And this is literally every question, every answer you'll get for metamaterial, because everything depends, right? So the long answer is, you should watch my next conservative dividend math video, hopefully coming out this tonight, but we don't know yet because I still have like the AMC video to make. I have other videos to make. So in short, the range of the dividends probably going to go from $0.5 to $35, okay? But the $35 line is pretty unlikely because basically all the dividends are saying is you time the dividend times 75 million is the amount of their underlying value of all of their oil and gas properties / equipment / assets. So if it's $0.5 per share of the dividend, that means all of their gas and oil equipment stuff is going to sell for about $37.5 million, which I think is pretty much a very conservative and very like a low ballpark estimate. Because I think it at least worth at least like 38 million or maybe 42 million. Okay, so like the dividend bottom is probably close to $1. And in my next video, I'm gonna talk about why they did the reverse split, other than the like transfer of control situation going on with metamaterial and with Torchlight's old C-level executives, right? But at the same time, it also sort of give us a very interesting perspective on how much do they really think all of the assets gonna sell in a very conservative manner. But we're getting into a lot of like C-level executive psychology here. and I know some of you are really interested in me talking about it. Basically, I'm a freak. I just read other people's mind and understand like what they really want and understand like what their psychology is. I'm just joking, or am I? And the highest you can get is $35, but you gotta sell for $2.6 billion. In terms of like the quality of their land, I don't really think it's possible, but hey, like we have to be optimistic, right? And then also, the higher the price it's gonna sell, the better for all of us, right? So be positive. Next one, we're gonna talk about dual listing. So on June 29th, the Canadian beaver market, you have a new ticker called MMAX. Basically, one share of MMAX will equals to one share of MMAT. So basically, it's a convenient factor for all of you who are trading on the beaver market. But in reality, so basically, hypothetically speaking, or in theory, if one MMAX equals to one MMAT, that means after the currency exchange, you will see, the price of MMAT will equals to MMAX. Or like in the next few weeks or days, you will see the gap in between those two prices to be as close as possible in order to make sure that degenerate like me won't post a video like what I did a couple of days ago, teaching you guys how to make a profit if you actually have a brokerage account in Canada or in a beaver country. You can actually buy low and sell high over there. But what would you expect is, so if you do the immediate currency exchange is 0.09 times 0.81, it's probably like somewhere around like $7. That's 7.2-ish, right? So on the Canadian beaver market, it's basically the security is $7.2, and in our country, in the US, it's traded at 6.74. You have a price difference, therefore you can make an arbitrage situation. Okay, it's that simple. But so how you interpreted this data or this information is either in a couple of days this price is gonna go up to about $7.2, which I think is the most likely, or this price, the 9.01 Canadian dollars. How do you do Canadian dollars? CD. Let's just do CD. CD is probably gonna drop down to the level around like 6.74 US dollars. But this, let's give it a 70%. This, let's give it a 30%. Okay, let's just be conservative, because anything can happen after a press conference. Because George never really openly speaks, so I don't know what kind of motivational / charismatic person he is. But we're gonna address him in the next few videos we're gonna make, right? Because we plan to do the addressing George video, and hopefully he will listen, and hopefully he will take advice from us, and hopefully we can probably do some future collab, and we probably, you never know, life is all about serendipity at this point. In order to be sneaky and making sure you guys actually, watch the entire video, I'm probably gonna insert this thing either in the middle of the video or at the end. Probably not at the end. Feels like you guys already get used to my tricks. But in those sneaky peeks, I sometimes give you guys some information you might miss, or give you guys some interesting guidance or educational content, or sometimes charting content, right? This time, let me just tell you why the media is actually untrustworthy. So if you type in the browser Tesla news, oh my God, it's so great. Record delivery, great, great and great. Oh my God, it delivered more than 200,000 vehicles. Oh my God, everything's so great. And then you have all these, party poopers and barons like, oh my God, like it's not enough, guys, it's not enough. But not enough, like Tesla almost go back to the 150 moving average, like it jumps 3%, 2 days ago, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't matter. Why? Even though everything is so great, but under the fog of all success, if you do this, right? China is going to be one of the biggest electric car market in the world in the next 5 years. And look at this. Oh my God, it's great. 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 Soft recall. Interesting. 5 days ago, soft recall. 280,000 cars in China, soft recall. It just says it delivered more than 200,000 cars the first quarter. And then if we do the math, it seems like it recalled more cars than it delivered, huh? But what are some like issues that the Chinese, you see, a week ago, they even announced they're gonna recall more. Isn't this interesting? But why isn't this showing up on the U.S. press? Why? I mean, I'm not telling you anything. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice, but I'm just saying use this information at your own risk or at your own advantage. All right. So, cover like what we are gonna see next week, right? In terms of next week, July 6th, big date. Mark your calendar. July 6th, mark your calendar. George is gonna have a press conference. All eyes on George. Who's George? The CEO of Meta Material, right? What he might cover. We might even make a video about our speculations of what he's gonna talk about in the press conference. You know, we like to get into other people's brains and pick their brains, get into their brains, sort of like predict what he's gonna say. I know it's kind of a psychopathic behavior, but I've already used to it. That's probably the reason I'm still single. Am I? Dang it. So sad. And also, what could go wrong, right? This thing is just, we gotta account for variable change. We gotta prepare for everything. But I'm very hopeful. Okay, I'm very hopeful, and so should you guys. Okay, hopefully, no, not hopefully. Hope. I'm very hopeful. Okay. Next thing we are gonna talk about, another thing that potentially next week we're gonna see fixing is Robinhood, Yahoo, Fidelity. Please, just America, fix this, right? So right now MMAT is listed as energy stock, okay, but it doesn't benefit shit from being in the energy sector anyways, because energy sector get basically defunded for the past 12 to 16 years now, because we're all going green, right? I'm basically repeating myself from my other videos, but for those who just want to see a weekly update, right, like you just need to watch this. And because it's not even gas or oil production really, they're literally like an asset holder, and then they sort of give other people the rights to produce. Okay, this is what Torchlight was about. But we can see this in the foreseeable future that should be changed into something tech related or photonics related. Okay, or even just say it's a hardware company or semiconductors is probably better, but it's not really a semiconductor or photonics company. Anyways, it should be fixed next week. If not, we gotta do something about it, or George has to do something about it. Next one. So one of our sub who's in our Discord channel, shout out to Wayward Ninja. Great name, actually. I love the ninjas. He's saying that already on threshold security list after 5 days of trading. So MMAT is already on the threshold security list. In terms of threshold security list, I'm gonna make a video about the FTD, which is failed to deliver, and it's related to the SEC ruling about the threshold security. So for now, bottom line, what you really need to know, if you don't want to get into the nitty gritty of this, it's basically the stock is shorted, and shorts cannot deliver shares on time for 5 consecutive days, and it sort of triggers a settlement cycle. It's essentially good news. But what we really need to figure out is we have to go back and look at the data of how many days it's actually been listed on there. Is it 1 day, is it 2 days, or 3 days, or 4 days, or 5 days? If it's the 5th day, that's great. Because if it's the 5th day that's already been listed as threshold security, that means that I can actually pinpoint a date, a potential date when a squeeze is gonna happen. Okay, and because press conference is next Tuesday, it's actually to our advantage. It's actually really good news for all of us who are holding it. Okay. Next slide. In terms of short volume, in general, all short volume data are fucked. Fintel is fucked. Even this website is fucked. If you want to see like this one's actually a pretty good one because they fetch data directly from I think the main terminal. So basically, in short, right now, the short volume is about 50%. And as we know, if a stock that is shorted more than 33%, it's essentially in the overshorted territory, and the short squeeze score is going to go up. So yeah, in terms of good, these are actually good news. Okay, if you look at the volume for Thursday and for Friday, it's literally one of the smallest volumes we ever traded on the stock. So yeah, it's so basically you just need to know that all the short volume data is not going to catch up to the reality. Not yet, not until all the shares are transferred, all outstanding share data are correct. But But right now, all you have to know is basically the short volumes shorted around like 50%. I mean, the smallest is probably around like 48%. So very heavily shorted. Maybe even higher than that. Like I could imagine it, even the short volume is probably like around like 60 to the mix 60 to like the 70 range, like the short volume, right? That's why it's probably on the threshold security list. Next slide. And for those of you who are just here for a very short sort of price action update, or also like a price action summary for next week. So delete this part. We don't really want to see it. It's basically this summarizes post merger. This is what merger is about. It traded like a IPO company, but not really. So you have it started really high, and then it sort of traded down because of all the bullshit about share conversion, and now it forms like a bottom, right, in between what I said, the price floor 6.62 to about 7.12. Next week, as long as it stabilizes at 7.12, we're chilling, and around the next 12 to 19 days, you will see a upside, and you will see some institutional investors buying in. Okay. But hey, again, I am not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advices. Everything we say on this channel is for shits and giggles only. All right. I think we are almost at the end of this presentation. Yeah, and thanks to Slides Carnival. I know I didn't pay you anything, or you didn't sponsor this video, but I'm a very ethical person. I always credit to whoever produces. The slides were produced by this website. A lot of the icons were produced by this website. And because I'm a cheap ass Asian man, I don't really buy my icons. I just credit them under the free, Commons license. All right, thank you guys. There are going to be more videos coming out later on today, so keep in tune in that. And I think in the middle of this video, there was a hidden gem, okay? So that's a reward for those of you who actually watched the entire video through. Anyways, see you guys on the upside. And remember, please smash that like button. As usual, we're going to beat the YouTube algorithm. And guess what? If you haven't subbed, please sub. Also, leave some comments below about what you think about this stock, or just my presentation in general, or suggestions for our channel. And remember to join the Discord channel as well. And also, again, like if you have friends and family who are interested in the stock, who just want a quick overview, well, it's probably a little bit lengthy by now, but if you just want a condensed version of what happened this entire week after the merger, just show them this video. Share them on social media, share them with your friends. And as one of the most underrated due diligence channel, most underrated, sorry, not overrated, most underrated DD channel in general, just share them, and it's going to be great. And see you guys on the upside.